The group that was with me was very diverse, and so there were people from the United States, there were people from Australia, and there were people from Canada. Every evening I was hosting a meditation program, and we would return after that at about 8 o'clock in the evening.
When we came back, Naomi was hungry, so we went to the restaurant and we joined a table where 3 others were already seated. And we heard a very loud noise. I couldn't figure out what the noise was. It sounded like somebody had dropped a tray of crystal. It didn't even occur to me it might be anything else. Alan was seated at the end of the table and turned around and just yelled for all of us to get under the table. And I just turned my head to Alan, who was reaching out to me with one hand and to Naomi with the other.
A string of attacks in Mumbai, India. Gunmen opening fire in the financial capital. Top state officials say at least 78 people are dead and 200 injured, and the death toll could go higher.
I was sitting with 2 of my people in my room when we heard what we thought was the sound of firecrackers coming from the lobby. And one of my associates went out to look and see what it was, and he saw the 2 terrorists with AK-57s mowing people down in the lobby.
And then there was a huge blast, and I said, "There's no firecrackers here, my goodness." It sounded like pretty loud, and my friend panicked. She said, "I'm not staying here." She opened the door and everything, smoke, fire alarm went. She started screaming, "I'm not staying here." So I said, "All right, neither am I." So I just said, "Take your passport." And that's it. And we walked in pitch black with the smoke down the stairs. We were from the 18th floor, arm in arm, and we just walked in pitch black down the fire escape of the Oberoi, and they were shooting up the fire escape.
Boom! Explosion right next to us went off.
Then our room filled with smoke. And then we saw on CNN they're looking for Americans and British hostages to take hostages, and they were killing hostages. So all this was just one thing after another. Well, I was angry. I was just angry because, you know, I couldn't believe it, and I just thought there's got to be a way to do something. And so I was looking for some opportunity, and everywhere I looked, it said, "There's nothing you can do." But wait, you couldn't go outside. They're shooting down the hall. The hotel's on fire. You can't jump out the window. Were they going to blow up the hotel and the whole thing would collapse and it's in rubble? You know, all these thoughts. Moment by moment, hour by hour, we just had to wait it out and see if we were going to survive.
We got washcloths to wet and put over our faces so that we could breathe. And we moved toward the window and could see the flames leaping up the side of the building.
Then about 4 o'clock, I hear a click, you know, like the hard snake in the door. And I just didn't know what to think. But nothing happened. They either couldn't get in or the key didn't work. I have no idea. And it was only until later that I found out that the terrorists had master keys to the rooms and they were on my floor and they were taking hostages. And of course they killed them all but the 2 Muslims.
In this terror attack that began about 4 hours ago and has already claimed at least 90 lives and an untold number of injuries. Anyone who was British, anyone who was American was taken hostage.
As the shooting got closer, you know, as the gunman swept through the restaurant, I remember thinking, feels like a kid playing a video game, you know, trying to get a perfect score, because he just kept shooting and shooting until he finally made it to our table. And then I heard Naomi call out when she was shot. And I remember the thought going through my mind, hush, or they'll shoot you more. But of course I couldn't communicate in the moment with her. And then she didn't cry out. And in that moment, I suspected that she had passed away.